I stood on the front porch of my three-bedroom house in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon, holding the keys in my hand like they were made of gold. 8 years. 8 years of 60-hour work weeks, cooking cheap meals at home, and living in a studio apartment the size of a closet. But I did it. I finally bought my own home. The feeling of walking through that front door, knowing it was mine, truly mine, was indescribable. No landlord, no rent, just freedom and independence. But within the first week, something happened that I never saw coming. My family started showing up, constantly, without warning, and they acted like they owned the place more than I did. Before we dive into what happened next, I would love to know where you are watching this from. Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you are enjoying this story so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Trust me, what happens with my family and my new house is going to make you think twice about ever giving anyone a spare key. Let us get into it. My name is Leo, and I am 32 years old. I work as a software engineer at a startup here in Portland. For the past 8 years, I have been grinding non-stop. I am talking 60 to 70 hours a week, sometimes more during crunch time. While my friends were traveling and going out on weekends, I was saving every dollar I could. I lived in a tiny studio apartment where my bed was practically touching my kitchen counter. I cooked all my meals at home, skipped expensive vacations, and drove the same beat-up Honda Civic I bought in college. My goal was simple. I wanted to own a home. Not rent. Own. My family has always been close, but not in an overbearing way. At least that is what I thought. My mom Linda is 58 and retired from teaching elementary school a few years ago. My dad passed away 5 years ago in a car accident, and it hit all of us hard. My older sister Angela is 35. She works as a retail manager and went through a rough divorce 2 years ago. She has 2 kids, Emma, who is 8, and Noah, who is 6. My younger brother Marcus is 28. He is a freelance graphic designer and lives with his girlfriend in a small apartment downtown. Growing up, we were a pretty normal family. We got together once a month for Sunday dinners, usually at my mom's place. I would help her fix things around the house, drive my sister to the store when her car was acting up, and occasionally lend Marcus money when freelance work was slow. We had a good relationship. We were close, but everyone had their own space, or so I thought. When I finally saved up enough for a 20% down payment, I started looking for houses. It took me 3 months to find the right one. A 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a small backyard in a quiet neighborhood just outside downtown Portland. The price was $320,000, which was a stretch, but I could make it work. I signed the papers at the end of April, and by early May, I was moving in. The first day I walked into my house, as the owner, I cannot even describe the feeling. It was a sunny Saturday morning, and the light was pouring through the windows. I stood in the empty living room and just smiled. This was mine. I could paint the walls any color I wanted. I could put furniture wherever I liked. I could live my life on my own terms. I called my family to share the good news, and everyone was excited. My mom congratulated me over the phone. Angela sent a bunch of celebratory emojis, and Marcus said he was proud of me. It felt perfect. But that feeling did not last long. On Monday, my second day in the house, I was busy unpacking boxes and cleaning. Around 10 in the morning, the doorbell rang. I opened the door, and there was my mom holding 2 large grocery bags. I was happy to see her. I thought she was just stopping by to bring me a housewarming gift. She came in, gave me a hug, and immediately went into the kitchen. She started pulling out ingredients and told me she was going to cook lunch for us. I thought it was sweet. We ate together, talked about the house, and I showed her around. But then after lunch, she started rearranging my kitchen cabinets. She moved the pots and pans to a different shelf, reorganized my silverware drawer, and rearranged the spices I had just put away the night before. I felt a little annoyed, but I told myself she was just trying to help. She stayed until 6 in the evening, and by the time she left, my kitchen looked completely different from how I had set it up. The next day, Tuesday, I went to work. I got home around 5:30 in the afternoon, exhausted from a long day of coding. When I pulled into my driveway, I saw my sister Angela's car parked on the street. I walked inside, and there she was, sitting on my couch with Emma and Noah, all three of them watching cartoons on my TV. I was confused. Angela looked up and smiled. "Your place is so big, Leo. I figured we would stop by after school and let the kids play for a bit." I did not know what to say. She had not asked if she could come over. She had not even texted me. The kids were running around the house, and I noticed toys scattered all over my living room floor. Angela stayed until 8 at night, and when she finally left the house was a mess. I spent the next 2 hours cleaning up after them. On Wednesday, I came home from work around 6, tired and ready to relax. When I walked up to my front door, I froze. It was open. Not wide open, but unlocked and slightly ajar. My heart started racing. I thought someone had broken in. I pushed the door open slowly, ready to call the police, and then I heard voices. I walked into the kitchen, and there was my brother Marcus and his girlfriend cooking dinner. Pots and pans were everywhere, and they were laughing like they did not have a care in the world. I stared at them. "What are you doing here?" Marcus turned around grinning. "Oh, what is up, bro?" Mom gave me the spare key. "I wanted to cook a nice dinner for my girlfriend, but our apartment is so small. I figured you would not mind since you were at work anyway." I felt a wave of anger, but I tried to keep my cool. "Mom has a spare key." "Yeah, you gave her one, right? For emergencies I had. When I first moved in, I gave my mom a spare key, in case something happened, and I needed someone to check on the house. But I never said she could just hand it out to other people." Marcus and his girlfriend finished cooking, ate their meal, and left around 9. They left behind a pile of dirty dishes in my sink. By the end of that first week, I was already exhausted. My family had been in my house more than I had. I tried to tell myself it was just the excitement of me having a new place. I thought it would calm down after a while, but I was wrong. The second week was worse. My mom started showing up 4 or 5 times a week, always unannounced. She would let herself in with the spare key, even when I was not home. I would come back from work and find that she had rearranged my furniture, bought new curtains without asking me, or reorganized my closets. One day I came home and she had completely redecorated my bathroom. New towels, a new shower curtain, even a new bath mat. I appreciated the thought, but it was my house. I wanted to make those decisions myself. When I gently told her I preferred to decorate on my own, she looked hurt. "I am just trying to help you, sweetheart. You have been so busy with work, I thought you would appreciate it." I did not want to upset her, so I dropped it. Angela kept bringing the kids over 3 or 4 times a week, always right after school. She said my house was closer to their school than hers, so it made sense for them to wait at my place until she got off work. The problem was she did not get off work until 7 or 8 at night. Emma and Noah would tear through my house like a tornado. They drew on my walls with crayons, spilled juice on my carpet, and broke one of my lamps. When I brought it up to Angela, she just shrugged. "Kids will be kids, Leo. It is not a big deal." But it was a big deal to me. This was my home. I had worked so hard for it, and it was being destroyed little by little. Marcus started coming over twice a week to work, because he said my house was quieter than his apartment. He would camp out on my couch with his laptop, eat all the food in my fridge without asking, and leave coffee cups everywhere. One afternoon I came home and found him in my bedroom lying on my bed taking a nap because he said my mattress was more comfortable than his. I was furious, but when I confronted him he acted like I was overreacting. "Come on, bro. We are family. What is yours is mine, right?" I wanted to scream, but I did not. I just went to my room and locked the door. Things escalated even more during the 3rd and 4th weeks. One Friday evening I came home from work at 7 planning to order takeout and relax. When I pulled up to my house, I saw at least 6 cars parked in front. I walked inside and my jaw dropped. There were 15 people in my living room. My mom had thrown a surprise housewarming party for me. She had invited relatives I barely knew, neighbors I had never met, and some of her friends from church. My mom rushed over to me beaming. "Surprise, honey. I wanted to do something special for you. I forced a smile, but inside I was seething. She had not asked me. She had not even told me. This was my house, and she had filled it with strangers. The party went until 11 at night, and by the time everyone left, my house looked like a disaster zone. There was food on the carpet, beer bottles on the coffee table, and someone had spilled red wine on my new couch. I spent the entire next day cleaning. A few days later, Angela called me. "Leo, I need another key to your place." I paused. "Why?" "So I can bring the kids over even when you are at work. It would just be easier if I had my own key." I said no. I told her that this was my house, and if she wanted to come over, she needed to ask me first. She got angry. "Are you serious right now? You are being selfish, Leo. We are family. Family helps each other." She hung up and immediately called my mom to complain. 10 minutes later, my mom called me upset. "Why would you say no to your sister? She is struggling as a single mom. You have this big house. Why can you not help her?" I tried to explain that it was not about helping. It was about respect and boundaries. But my mom did not want to hear it. Then one Thursday night, I came home late from work, around 10. I had been putting in extra hours on a big project. When I walked into my house, I found 4 guys I had never seen before, sitting in my living room playing video games on my TV. Beer cans were scattered everywhere. Marcus was in the kitchen grabbing more drinks. "Oh, what is up, Leo? These are my friends. We are having a gaming night. My place is too small, so I figured we would use your house. I lost it." "You did not even ask me." Marcus looked confused. "You were not home. What is the big deal?" His friends stared at me like I was the crazy one. I had to wait until 1 in the morning for them to finally leave. I barely slept that night. The final straw came a few days later. I walked into my bedroom and immediately noticed something was different. My bed was in a new spot. My dresser had been moved. My clothes had been taken out of my closet, washed, and folded in a way I did not fold them. I looked in my closet and realized some of my favorite shirts were missing. I called my mom. "Did you go into my bedroom?" She sounded cheerful. "Yes, sweetie. I came by yesterday and cleaned up for you. Your room was such a mess. I moved some furniture around and got rid of some old clothes I thought you did not need anymore." I could not believe what I was hearing. "Mom, those were my clothes. You threw them away. They were old, Leo. You needed new ones anyway." I felt completely violated. This was not help. This was control. I tried to talk to each of them individually. I sat my mom down and gently explained that I needed space. She cried and said I was pushing her away. I talked to Angela and told her she needed to ask before bringing the kids over. She accused me of being ungrateful and reminded me of all the times she helped me when we were younger. I confronted Marcus about respecting my home, and he called me stingy. No matter what I said, they made me feel like I was the bad guy. I started questioning myself. Was I being selfish? Was I wrong to want my own space? I could not sleep. I could not focus at work. I was miserable in the house I had worked so hard to buy. One day my coworker and best friend Jake noticed I looked exhausted. He asked what was wrong, and I told him everything. He listened, and when I finished, he shook his head. "Bro, that is not okay. It is your house. You need to set boundaries." Jake told me about a similar situation he had gone through with his own family. He said the hardest part was standing up to them, but once he did, things got better. His words gave me clarity. This was not about love. This was about respect. And I deserve to be respected in my own home. On a Friday night, at the end of June, I decided to take a big step. I had been talking to a woman named Sarah on a dating app for a few weeks, and we finally agreed to meet in person. I invited her over for dinner. I spent the whole day cleaning my house, cooking a nice meal, and making sure everything was perfect. I was nervous, but excited. It had been years since I had gone on a date, and I really wanted this to go well. Sarah arrived at 7. She was sweet, funny, and easy to talk to. We sat down for dinner, and everything was going great. We were laughing, sharing stories, and I felt like maybe, just maybe, this could turn into something real. And then at 7:30 my front door opened. I heard voices before I saw them. My mom, Angela, Marcus, Emma, and Noah all walked into my house like they owned the place. My mom saw Sarah, and her eyes lit up. "Oh, Leo, you have company. Why did you not tell us?" Angela walked over, looking Sarah up and down. "Is this your girlfriend? Why did you not introduce us?" The kids started running around screaming and playing. Marcus turned on the TV. My mom sat down at the table and started eating the food I had made for Sarah. Sarah looked at me confused and uncomfortable. I was frozen. I did not know what to do. My family bombarded her with questions. Angela asked if she planned to marry me. My mom asked where she worked, how much money she made if she wanted kids. Sarah answered politely at first, but I could see she was getting more and more uncomfortable. By 8:30, Sarah said she had to leave. She thanked me for dinner, said goodbye to my family, and walked out. I followed her to her car. "Sarah, I am so sorry. I had no idea they were coming." She gave me a sad smile. "You are really nice, Leo. But I do not think this is going to work. Your family is a lot." She got in her car and drove away. Later that night, she sent me a text. "You are nice, but I do not think this is going to work. Your family is a lot." Then she blocked my number. I walked back inside, and my family was still there, acting like nothing had happened. I snapped. "Get out, all of you. Get out of my house right now." My mom looked shocked. "Leo, why are you being so rude? This is my house. You cannot just show up whenever you want. You ruined my date." Angela stood up angry. "You think you are so important. We are your family." "We are supposed to come first," I shouted back. "I do not care. This is my home and I want you all to leave." My mom started crying. Angela grabbed her kids and stormed out. Marcus shook his head at me like I was the villain. They all left, slamming the door behind them. I stood in my living room shaking, and for the first time in weeks, the house was silent. The next day, my phone blew up. My mom would not answer my calls. Angela sent me a long, angry text about how I had hurt everyone and how selfish I was. Marcus told me he was disappointed in me. Relatives I barely talked to started calling, saying they heard I had been cruel to my mom. I felt like the entire family had turned against me. But then, I talked to Jake again. He reminded me that I had done nothing wrong. "They crossed your boundaries. They disrespected you. You had every right to stand up for yourself." I also started reading about family boundaries online. I found forums where people shared similar stories. I realized I was not alone. What my family was doing was not love. It was control. I made a decision. I called a locksmith and had all my locks changed. It cost me $250, but it was worth it. No one had a key to my house anymore except me. Then I sat down and wrote out a list of rules. Clear, firm boundaries. 1. No one comes over without asking at least 24 hours in advance. 2. No one enters my house when I am not home. 3. No one invites other people to my house without my permission. 4. No one rearranges or touches my belongings. 5. If anyone breaks these rules, they will not be welcome in my home for 1 month. I typed it up, printed it out, and sent an email to my mom, Angela, and Marcus. I asked them to meet me at a coffee shop the following Saturday, not at my house. At a neutral location. They all agreed, probably out of curiosity. When Saturday came, I got to the coffee shop early. I was nervous, but I knew I had to do this. My mom, Angela, and Marcus arrived together. They sat down across from me, their faces cold. I took a deep breath. "I love you all, but we need to talk." I told them everything. How I felt disrespected. How my house did not feel like mine anymore. How they had ruined my chance with Sarah. How exhausted and miserable I was. At first they tried to argue. My mom said I was blaming her. Angela said I was being dramatic. Marcus said I was overreacting, but I did not back down. I stayed calm. I pulled out the list of boundaries and put it on the table. I am not asking for permission. I am telling you how it is going to be. This is my house. If you cannot respect these boundaries, then you are not welcome. I also told them I had changed the locks. No one has a key anymore. Not even you, Mom. There was silence. Angela called me the worst brother in the world. I looked her in the eye and said, maybe. But I am also the one who worked 80 hours a week for 8 years to afford that house, and I deserve to enjoy it. My mom cried. What did I do wrong? I softened. Mom, I love you, but you cannot just show up and rearrange my life. Would you like it if I did that to you? She did not answer. I stood up, left the list of boundaries on the table, and walked out. Call me when you are ready to respect my space. The first week after that meeting was hard. No one called, no one texted. I felt alone, but I also felt lighter. For the first time in 2 months, I came home and did not have to worry about who would be there. I started reclaiming my space. I rearranged the furniture the way I wanted it. I painted the living room a deep navy blue. I decorated with things I loved. Slowly, my house started to feel like home again. In the second week, my mom sent me a text. Sweetheart, I've been thinking a lot. I am sorry. I called her, and we talked for over an hour. She admitted that after my dad died, she was terrified of losing us. She tried to stay close, by being involved in every part of our lives. But she realized that it was pushing us away instead. I told her I was not going anywhere, but I needed space to be my own person. She promised to respect my boundaries. In the third week, Marcus texted me. You were right. I took advantage of you. I am sorry about the coffee mug. A few days later, a package arrived. It was a new mug. Not the same as the one he broke, but it was beautiful. I appreciated it. Angela took the longest. A full month went by before she reached out. When she finally did, she said, I do not think I was wrong, but I am sorry about your date. I should not have done that. It was not a perfect apology, but it was a start. In July, I invited everyone over for Sunday dinner. For the first time, they asked, Are you free? The dinner went well. They respected my space. They left on time. The kids played carefully. It felt like a fresh start. By August, I started dating again. I met a woman named Rachel, and things were going well. When I introduced her to my family, I did it on my terms, and it was wonderful. Looking back now, I realize that boundaries are not selfish. Boundaries protect relationships. When you do not set boundaries, resentment builds, and resentment destroys love. Loving someone does not mean letting them control your life. Respecting yourself is the foundation of every healthy relationship. Buying that house taught me more than just about real estate. It taught me that home is not just a place. It is a feeling. And sometimes you have to fight for that feeling, even if it means standing up to the people you love most. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had to set boundaries with your family or someone close to you? How did it go? Drop your story in the comments below. I would love to hear it. And if this story resonated with you, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope it reminded you that it is okay to stand up for yourself. Take care of your space, take care of your peace, and remember you deserve to feel at home in your own life.